My letter to fear started as a conversation with women about aging and beauty myths and body image and life expectations. Women have an awful lot to say, and not just about society pressure, but about the pressure they put on themselves to be perfect.
Have you ever noticed how difficult it is for a woman to admit that she is beautiful? Seriously, give it a try. Ask 5 of your friends right now if they are beautiful. You might get their best 2-minute stand-up on why they're fine, but a quiet moment of admission is rare, even from women who are held up by society as being examples of physical perfection. Do we demur because we're afraid that an admission of beauty makes us shallow, vain, or arrogant? Or do we deny so that we can just beat others to it?
And they talk about relationships, and they talk about abuse, and they talk about growing stronger, and they talk about fear of failure and fear of success, and the fear that somehow they may not be living up to the best versions of themselves.
I am 44, and I have never seen there. I don't know where there is. I don't know how to get to there. Now, now 24, I at least had a map to there. And it was framed with the absolute certainty that I was going to change the world, that there was one specific great thing waiting for me to do.
I think we place an awful lot of pressure on ourselves to follow the should. We should be feeling something, we should be doing something, we should be experiencing something or achieving something. We should be married, we should have kids, we should be single, we should not have kids, whatever it is. I think we have a lot of should that can sort of stifle not only creativity, but keep us running in place. I think should can stop people from taking the risks they need to really find out who they are. And I think expectation plays a significant part of that.
I have no plan. How can the girl who lived by a list become a woman who chooses each thing each day as it comes? Not easily. It's just shy of terrifying, actually. But it's a living feeling, and it's not limited by you. For now, that's enough. I am more than the sum of your expectations. I may even be more than mine.
The title, My Letter to Fear, came from a conversation with my friend Penny, who's a therapist, and she told me about a process that people go through when they're facing particular demons. If they're struggling with addiction, or if they're struggling with abuse, or they're struggling with fear, they would write a letter to that thing that they were struggling with. And that just sort of sparked an idea in me that what if many of the essays started out as letters to the things that people were struggling with.
Dear Fear, is it possible that I became so used to you being a part of my life that you're actually the comfortable, safe choice? This tug-of-war you played with hope with me in the middle kept me stagnating, constantly choosing to stay unhappily put rather than taking any risk whatsoever. I was paralyzed by you.
Tone-wise, the pieces cover a spectrum. Some of them are very funny, some of them are absolutely ridiculous, and some of them are heartbreaking. And that's pretty much the way life goes, so it felt right to include all of them.
Perhaps they think it's contagious, this aging thing, which is entertaining really because of all the contagious things spread as a result of these dating events. Aging isn't one of them. I'm 43 and I'm literally too old to date in LA.
I will now give you one of my top 10 pieces of dating advice. Ready? Do not let a man see your vagina before he has seen your face. I mean this literally. I'm not putting a lot of restrictions on you. It's not like I'm asking you to wait until he can tell you what color your eyes are. That's impossible. Guys don't know, ever. I get that, okay? It would be unreasonable.
After a particularly bad week, she startled at the image before her in the mirror. There had been a flash, something fleeting and unrecognizable. It was her, but not. She was cold and in pieces, a sort of marble statue that had become smaller and more marred with each lie she told, each one she accepted. And somehow she knew that the lies she had told herself had done as much damage as the lies she had told others.
Choosing a favorite piece is actually fairly difficult for me. I love all the essays. Most of them are my perspective on somebody else's story, but I'm still attached to them. I can say that every time I hear ouch, which is known as the anal bleaching piece, I do laugh. I've heard Jen Lilley from Days of Our Lives do it live twice, and I laugh every single time.
In addition to the war on pubic hair, do women of Los Angeles now have to wonder if the color of their anal ring is pleasing? Okay, so should we be shooting for pearl or something so white that the glow can be seen from space? Roger, we can see the Great Wall of China, the San Andreas Fault, and some girl's anal ring.
There are still pieces that make me weepy even after all this time. One of them is The Moment, because I think so many of us can relate to the idea that we haven't had our moment yet, or we're looking for that moment, or we think any day now people are going to see us for who we really are, and that's going to be a fabulous, miraculous moment. And I heard Nikki Deloach read it during the last live reading of pieces from my letter to Fear, and I actually did start to tear up while I was listening to it, and that's despite the fact that I've probably read that piece or heard it read 10 times.
Do we all pine for that life-changing second where the world says, how could we have missed you all this time? I think about it all the time now with every stranger that I see, from the person sitting alone in a restaurant to the person singing at the top of their lungs while driving because they are convinced that their car is soundproof. I see them. I recognize them. I'm still waiting for my moment, of course. But if you see me hiding behind a plant, clutching a drink, and looking lost at some social gathering that I couldn't get out of, know that inside, I'm putting on one hell of a show.
I've been lucky to receive good reviews on the book, and that's been very exciting to see other people responding to the material. My favorite comment so far was from someone who said that reading the book was like having a conversation with her best friend. And that was really exciting to me, to find someone who related to the work that closely, and it was really gratifying to hear. So if you're looking for a book that'll make you laugh and cry a little, that's funny and sad and ridiculous, just like life, please be sure to check out My Letter to Fear, Essays on Life, Love, and the Search for Prince Charming.